Oh my God. It looks like we are live. Now let's see if we are live on the other channels. We should be live on YouTube for sure.
Only
Uh, yeah, let's see. So let me check. So I'm just going to check to see if we have gone live. Yep, we are indeed live. Yep.
are we live on OnlyFans as well?
Only if somebody's paying.
Do I have? I shaved my chest, especially.
Oh no, you did you? Oh
I'm prepared.
man. Dear, oh dear. Okay, I mean, I think, okay, hang on. So I have to press the go live on Instagram. And I think that we should now be live on Instagram as well. So welcome everybody if you're joining us. Um, we are now live on YouTube and on Instagram. Well, I think we're live on Instagram. I'm not seeing it myself. Anybody out there seeing us live on Instagram, give me a shout. Anybody out there? If you've seen us go live, give me a shout. Let me know if we are live. We're supposed to
You're
be
live.
live. Anybody out there? Oh, you can see on Instagram?
Yeah,
Brilliant.
you're live.
Brilliant. Brilliant. So we are apparently live on Instagram as well. Isn't that terrific? So welcome everybody to another session, another therapy session, quite frankly, for Brown Car Guy with Sai again of the Drivers Union. I don't know why he's come back again after the abuse he got last time, but there he is.
This is why I'm in a different location,
All right.
because I had the Audi R8 Owners Club
Yeah.
found out I lived.
Well, everybody's unhappy with you. So the Aston Martin guys are unhappy with you.
Yeah, they've always been
The
happy.
911 guys are unhappy with you. The Audi R8 guys are unhappy with you. Who do you want to upset this time?
What do you got to be upset with? They found out where I live, and they started buzzing me. They're driving past my house, buzzing me.
Right.
But because it's not a supercar, they were very quiet, so I didn't really.
Oh no. There we go. And the burns have already started. So, so how's it been going? What have you been up to since last time that we spoke?
Oh, last time, let's see. Was Sunday. I was at the Ferrari Owners Club concourse,
Right.
at Goodwood, which is I've been a member for about 20 years now. It was a great event. I met up with a load of old friends, lots and lots of Ferraris. Took loads of photographs. I uploaded them to the Drivers Union Flickr account if anybody wants to have a look.
Is Flickr still a thing?
Do you know, I still use Flickr because I take hundreds of photographs, thousands sometimes. And then, like for example, the Brands Hatch photographs, which I uploaded yesterday. Yeah. So I uploaded 599 photographs. And then, members or owners can download the high-res versions for free.
Yeah.
It's very good for that. Whether anybody actually goes in and has a look at it, I don't know. But it's...
You see, the operative word there being for free, and I don't know if you noticed, but I just put up a few days ago, I put up a video on YouTube about content creation. And because I was chatting to another friend of mine about content creation and how the whole system works and how YouTubers survive and do what they do. And there's this assumption out there. People tend to think that, YouTubers, just by the dint of being a YouTuber, that somehow, you're cash rich. YouTube's just sending you bagfuls of money along with every plaque or whatever, And the reality is it's not. It's a trickle fee. And unless if people enjoy your content, and if people, because at the end of the day, like you do, like you go out and you carry these heavy camera gear around with you, and you shoot all these cars and all these photos at all these events, and it's not paid work. It's free work that you're doing, And at the end of the day, people can either, even if people just appreciate you by liking and engaging with the content, because I say to people say to me sometimes like, I love your content, but you haven't been posting for a while, and I'm like, dude, I post every single day. The reason that you're not seeing it is because you're not engaging with it. It's not enough to just let it run on the TV whilst you're YouTubing and just let it go on to the next thing, because if you do that, then YouTube assumes that you're not really engaging with the content, you don't necessarily like it, it's just on in the background, and it won't necessarily show you content from that creator again. So, from one end, you can support your favorite creators by going on Patreon and Ko-fi and whatever and supporting them, or even on YouTube, but at the very least, hit the like button, leave a comment, share. That's costing you nothing, but you can't imagine how much that helps content creators. But again, going back to you, what you were saying, it's like, yeah, you create all these beautiful imagery, which you are an amazing photographer. So I'm just
Very much.
blowing hot air up your ass now. Why not? But you are a brilliant
Need as much
photographer.
hot as possible lately.
Yeah, there you go. And you are a brilliant photographer. You put out some great imagery, and it'd be nice, for people to say, "Sai, brilliant, well done, thank you."
The problem is on Flickr, there's no like button as such.
Oh, well,
And
screw it. Then basically, you just wasted the whole 10 minutes I just spent ranting was a complete
well,
waste of
the thing is, you've got to post all the time, and I really don't have the time
time.
to post it, to select the photographs. As for YouTube, God, because I used to be technically still am a professional cameraman, filmmaker, and I've got all the equipment, but I don't want to do it anymore because I remember once I was filming the Geneva Motor Show for Amazon. And I'm wearing this really big rig with these big cameras because the more equipment you have, the more impressive you look, and the more likely people are going to talk to you. And it was lunch break, and I took my stuff off, and I'm sitting next to this guy in the press room, and this guy's already editing and uploading the videos. Yeah. And I thought, well, what's the point of me doing it? And the other problem is anybody can do YouTube. If you've got a mobile phone, yeah. You can go out, take a video, create a YouTube account, bang, you're there, you've done it.
Yeah, I mean, this is true. This is true. But even then, I mean, again, it's it's easy to say that it's that easy, but actually it's not always that easy. It's never that easy. I mean, nothing is ever that easy.
No, it's hard to get people to watch it. Yeah. Now, I'll give you an example. I did a video many years ago of Nigel Mansell playing a video game.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Legend.
It was in Docklands. And I was filming him during the day because he was leading I think it's a Rolls Royce. No, Jaguars. He was leading loads of Jaguars, I think it was. And he was on a bicycle and it's been done for charity. So I was filming the whole thing. And I filmed him playing a video game and I uploaded it. And I got about 270,000 views, but I got £980 for it.
There you go.
And I thought, hang on a second. Then I looked at the stats, and most of the views are from Japan. So maybe they get paid more money for Japan.
Yeah, there are some countries that get paid more. I don't know if Japan was on there, but certainly, like for example, America, you tend to get paid more than you would for some other countries.
I know another YouTuber who told me this story. He does a lot of car videos. He still does a lot of car videos, and he did a video of a dog protecting a cat against a fox.
A dog protecting a cat against a fox. Okay, yeah, right, all right.
His video, and even he said, he was just, you didn't even see the fox properly. It was just, this fox was trying to get the cat, and the dog was protecting the cat. And there was no violence or anything. They're just like growling at each other. How much money did he make?
Go on.
£24,000.
Wow.
From that one video.
Yeah.
Right, we're in the wrong game. We need to be doing some, whereas if I did a documentary video of an interview with somebody, I'll be lucky to get a couple of thousand.
I should interview the local foxes. That's what I should be doing.
Yeah.
That might help.
Animals is where it is. So now I've said, no, I'm not going to do any more filming because it's hard work, camera work.
It is very hard work, and that's the point. But I mean, again, so let's go back to the Goodwood thing, because you were saying, oh, by the way, try to center yourself in the screen a little bit so that viewers can see your beautiful visage.
I was going for this is my cinematic thing, because you always go water on the side, you see. So I'm not used to going in the middle. That's like cheap.
So if there's any Bollywood fans out there, the old Bollywood movies, if you remember the old heroes, there was one particular hero called Manoj Kumar, and if you watch any of his movies, he took that to the extreme, because not only would he be at the side of the screen, but he would like half cover his face. So like every scene he'd be like this, as if he was thinking or he was hiding, and just to make him even more mysterious and charismatic.
But this is my good side. So
this is your Bollywood actress side, is it? That's the hero side.
My porn side.
That's the only fan side.
This is my radio side.
Yeah. But anyway, Ferrari's at Goodwood.
The Ferrari, if you get a chance, I don't know whether it's open to the public, but if you have a Ferrari, you could drive in for free. I've been a member for 20 years, as I said, and it was great. It was lots of Ferraris. I had a concourse. The only thing that I was a little bit disappointed with, and I do not blame the Ferrari Owners Club for this, because it's happened lots of events. There was none of the very old special cars,
Mm.
the very rare cars, because they're now owned by collectors, and the collectors have them hidden away because they're worth 20-30 million pounds.
Yeah.
You know, even the guys who've got the normal Ferraris, you know, the 308s have gone to, they're now 95, 100,000 pounds. They sort of keep them in the garage. They don't want to bring them out. So there was a lack of those kind of cars. And I think that's really happening everywhere now.
You know, I've always, you know, I mean, you know, I think classic cars are wonderful. As you know, I love classic cars, and of course, it's always amazing to be in the presence of, you know, high-end exotica, rare exotica. I mean, you had one at the last Festival Italia. You had one of the was a 275 Ferrari that was there, you know,
Yeah.
and it's nice to see stuff like that out and about. But I always personally, I do find it quite ridiculous when the values of some of these cars get into the 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 million. You know, at that point to me, I mean, what is the point of that car? Because that's a car that can never be driven on the road. It's there at that point, it's just too valuable to even tarnish its tires with the tarmac, you know.
2005, 2006, 2007, around that was a golden period, I think, for me, certainly, because I would go out on a drive and we would have an F40 with us. At that time, 2005, an F40 was the same price as a brand new 430,
Yeah.
140,000 pound. So then you've got, you know, then people with the old 308s, and they were like 20,000 pounds. Dinos are 24, 25,000. They would all come along, we do it. But now, you know, F40, £2 million. How often do you see that on the road? Dino, you know, £250,000 plus.
Yeah. Yeah.
308s are approaching £80,000 plus.
Yeah, but on the other hand, though, it's quite funny because I remember a few years ago you're talking about Goodwood, and I don't normally talk about Goodwood, and I'll come back to why. But you're talking about Goodwood, and I remember a few years ago somebody crashed a 250 GTO in one of the races, one of the historic races, and you thought, oh my God, the 250. And I spoke to a few people. I'm like, oh my, what an expensive accident, you know. And the thing is, like, somebody they put it into perspective for me because they said, well, yeah. But you know that car is probably insured for 70, 80 million pounds or whatever. So the cost of crashing it, repairing it, is minuscule to the value of the car. It'll easily be covered, and then you've just added more provenance to the car because now it's that Ferrari that crashed at Goodwood. So in fact, they don't mind.
They're cheap to repair because it's basically cheap metal.
Yeah.
Simple engines.
Yeah.
Simple bits you can put together.
Yeah. Just Fiat parts.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, not even Fiat parts. It was like Alfa parts, wouldn't they? Really. But you're looking at stuff now. You know, if you smash. Someone did a video. Someone posted a video. Someone crashed on one of the I think it was a Ferrari FF or GTC. That's going to be mega money to fix.
Yeah.
I mean, how much is a GTC now? It's about 150 or 180,000 pounds.
Yeah.
But to fix that, that's written off.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, the modern cars are. I mean, you know, I was just reviewing a Polestar, Polestar 4.
You got one outside.
I've got a Polestar 3 outside at the moment. Now, this Polestar 3 is so weird because there's a Polestar 3 and there's a Polestar 4. The 4 actually slots below the 3, although the 4 is faster. I don't know what they're doing at Polestar really, but the pricing. So the price of this car, and starting for the range, it's just under 70k, £70,000 for a family-friendly EV SUV. That's the starting. Now this one is the long-range dual motor. The long-range dual motor goes up to £75,000. That's what it starts at. 75,900 actually, I should say. This car, this test car that they've sent me, hasn't even got all the kit. It's got no. Listen. Hasn't even got all the kit, right? It's got pilot pack, it's got plus pack, and one or two other things, right? 85.5 grand. 85.5 grand for a family SUV. When the heck did normal, regular, basic Polestars, a Volvo, right? When did they get so damn expensive? I mean, it's absolutely shocking. 5 grand is just the plus pack on the car, which admittedly includes a 1600 watt Bowers and Wilkins stereo system, but even then, and it doesn't even have the performance pack, which is actually another optional extra. So, oh my God.
Do you know, I'd go out and buy a Porsche Cayenne.
Well, this is it. Well, I just saw, because a buddy of mine was checking it out, we were looking at, I think it was on Collecting Cars, and it was a 1990 Porsche 964, backdated to a 1970s style Targa. and beautifully done, blue with tan leather interior, really, really gorgeous car. And I think that one just went for 75K. And you go, right, 75K for that, or 75K for a brand new wannabe Volvo. Yeah, you're going to go with the Porsche and leave the family at home.
We're getting old. That's what it is. We're just, like I said before, give it another 10, 20 years, and we'll be like the smokers standing outside buildings, chugging away. We'll be like gas guzzlers, and people pointing at us and saying, "Oh, it's disgusting. Look, polluting everything."
Yeah.
You should have an
well, this is it. I mean, as the guy with the supercar club, the biggest, I think we established the biggest, I think we can get away with saying the biggest multi-mark supercar club in the UK, right? And the fact is, they're all supercar owners. Now, supercars have just they've been clamped down. We spoke about this last time. They've been clamped down on London. They're starting to. I feel there's this kind of propaganda starting to happen against supercars. Trying to turn people off supercars. I mean, how do you and your members feel about that? I mean, that's just you feel picked upon.
No, I don't. We don't feel picked upon. That's a very good question, actually. I'm not sure how to answer that. I mean, firstly, everyone hates driving into central London.
Yeah.
Well,
that's a no-no now, anyway.
I drove. Yeah, I drove in central London on I think it was Wednesday, but I took my Cayenne. I just didn't want to take the Ferrari in because that's stuck in traffic and the gearbox is always sticky and stuff like that on an F1 box. I think we are slowly getting there to becoming persecuted because it not only because we are driving petrol cars, but also because it's a symbol of wealth. And you automatically think, someone's been laid off, someone's working really hard and hasn't got money to pay for the bills or food and the kids, and then they see somebody driving around in a very expensive car. Then I think that is what's going to happen, and I think
But having said that, Si, as the point I was just making, I mean, these 85 grand, that used to be supercar money not long ago, right? Yeah. So now we're not even talking supercars. We're talking anything brand new, biggish looking with 20-inch rims on it. That's already an in-your-face car, isn't it? We've got a few people joining us. So Chrysalis, hello. He says, Aston, he's so happy. Size pics are amazing. There you go.
Thank you very much.
We've got Minotaur Myth. Chaz here. He's waving. Oh, F355. I think that he is. He has. Ibrahim is saying, don't forget to like the video, folks. Thank you, Ibrahim.
Is it the pink 355?
That's what I think it is. Yeah, I think it is a pink 355.
Pink 355, and I know which Chaz it is.
Yeah, so that's him. And who we got? We got Adam joining us. Good afternoon, you two handsome fellas. I like Adam, whoever that is. I like Adam already.
Adam, I know he's got eye problems. He doesn't. Wait, he's waiting now. Blurry for him.
That didn't last long for the ego, did it? Ibrahim, okay, I'll come back to that question in a minute. Play says, smash that, Polestars are Geelys. Yeah, Polestars are Geelys, or so is Volvo's, because Polestar was an offshoot of Volvo. Volvo is owned by Geely, so yeah. But then so is Lotus, and so is the London Taxi Company, the London Electric Vehicle Company. Ibrahim is asking us, will either of you be at Hampton Court Concourse?
I will be there all day Friday and all day Saturday because I'll be taking probably 2,000 photographs.
Wow!
For because I do the books. So with London, because London Concourse and Hampton Court Palace are partners of Drivers Union. So at London Concourse I took 3,500 photographs, and
you just went over that really quickly, but just worth emphasizing, Drivers Union is partners with two of the most amazing concourse shows in the Southeast. That's fantastic.
And Brands Hatch.
Yeah, and Brands Hatch. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Brands Hatch. Yeah. So actually, next weekend, Sunday, we are at Brands Hatch. We're celebrating Brands Britannia. We're part of we're going to take about 50 British sports cars, spoopy cars, and classic cars there. We're going to do the demo runs and everything. We take up a lot of the area. So we do free shows with them, and they give us free tickets. They really look after us, and they're really lovely people. I'm doing a book about that as well, for all the photographs I've taken. Then the following week, Hampton Court Palace, a fantastic event. So those people who don't know, because people get confused with Hampton Court Palace and Blenheim Palace, because there's two events.
Well, and they kind of overlap. at the
Yeah.
same time, and that's
But
the
it,
thing. What I
but
will
it
say
gets
to everybody, being impartial, not being a partner of either, but being impartial, don't bother with Blenheim Palace, just go to Hampton Court. That's my view. I've been to both of them, and that's what I think.
Blenheim Palace. I'll tell you something about Blenheim Palace. What they're doing now, they've introduced a new thing, which is a £75 ticket. So you can go on a Wednesday,
£75 ticket.
which is normally it's £350, where you get all the champagne.
My
So for
God.
£75, you can go, and Wednesday and Thursday is a great event because it is a concourse event on those days.
How much are the tickets at Hampton Court?
Oh, Hampton Court's a lot cheaper. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm going there because we're going there as a club. So
Yeah.
I'm taking on the Friday we're taking 30 cars and we park up inside the event itself. It's
Yeah.
lovely. We get there early in the morning, spend the whole day. They're fantastic. On the Saturday and Friday, I think is always a better day, the best day, because that's when the conga cars drive in the morning. Really good. You see them all moving about. And the event.
And this is key. I'm just sorry to interrupt you, but I think that is key. The Hampton Court is a place where you do actually see the cars start up and move, because they also go up to the main podium. The lake in the middle. They also go up there, and then you can hear them, you can smell them, it's brilliant.
But to be fair, the same thing happens at Salon Privé as well. They do move the cars around. But at Hampton Court, I think you actually see them driving in from outside. And you have 70 very, very rare cars. So we park our cars in the gardens themselves. So we have 30 cars. On the Saturday, we have free cars from our club, from our concourse, the top 3 winners of our concourse that you were at, that you were one of the judges. They're going to be in the club trophy. So I'm there taking photographs of them, seeing what they do, how they do it, and everything. And then on Sunday, we've got 32 cars going, but I'm not going to be there because it clashes with Silverstone. Because it's a big Ferrari event at Silverstone the same day.
Wow. So and is Blenheim at the same time as well then this year?
No, Blenheim's changed. So Blenheim is actually next week.
Oh,
so
I see. Oh, so that was smart, because I don't know why they both clashed at the same. Normally they would clash, and I don't know why they did that.
Do you know, I'm friends with both of them.
Yeah.
And I've always said I don't know. I think the official reason is because there are other big concours events happening on either side.
Yeah.
Or I think also Goodwood Revival. So it's very hard to fit in that kind of time. So it tends to clash. This year is the first time in many years where they're on separate weekends.
Yeah, I think
But
that'd be good.
actually,
It'll be good to see how the reaction is, and if the crowd is greater for that reason. So Ibrahim says he's going to be at Hampton Court on Saturday. We'll see you there on Saturday. I'll tell you another reason that I'll be there on Saturday and not on the Friday. I normally go on the first day, but this year I'm going on Saturday, and I'll tell you why in a minute. And he says that he paid £55 for his what is it? Blenheim Palace Supercars on Sunday, and the Rustival on Saturday. He paid £55 for the ticket. And this is the other problem, is the price of tickets of these things. I remember a few years ago, I put up a live post from hello to E30 Bob, who's watching us on Instagram. So I put up a live video from the Silverstone Classic, and I said, "Come down, guys! It's great. You can see all these cars, And then immediately I had some messages from some of the viewers, and they were like, "Dude, it's too expensive," because they were like, price of the ticket, price of getting there, price of parking, price of eating, multiply that by a family of 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever, and suddenly you're looking at maybe several £100s. And I guess that we are privileged and honored that I always go with press passes, so I get press tickets, so I never end up paying. But when you think of it from that point of view, then you realize it is a costly outlay for a lot of people.
Yeah. See, I do get people once, say to me, "Oh, it's really expensive for the tickets, it's this and that." What you have to understand is, and I understand because I've been an organizer as well. The problem is, if you want to go to a particular venue, it's going to cost money. So, for example, Hampton Court Palace. Well, the organisers of the Concourse of Eloquence have to pay Hampton Court Palace to do that. Then you've got a lot of support. You need security. You need people to help in the marshalling. You've got the admin, and it's a lot. I mean, things like London Concourse, especially. I'm surprised they actually even make a profit. Yeah. It is very, very expensive.
Yeah.
And the costs rise every year. It is getting more and more expensive. But I'm not going to blame the organisers. It's the venues.
It's just the rising costs. It's just the rising costs. And the associated costs.
And if you have an event that's very, very, very successful, then obviously the venue is going to turn around and say, oh, they must be making lots of money. They're going to think, oh, it's very expensive. So let's up the price. So what they're going to do? The organisers are going to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I have
in
a lot of sympathy for the
in a previous life in Dubai, we started a very small meet while I was still at Car Magazine. I was still editor of Car Magazine, and we started sort of just cars and coffee or cars and burgers type meet. We started with like 25 cars at Fat Burgers on Jumeirah Beach Road. And after Car Middle East, Motoring Middle East, we continued them. We moved to a venue just near Burj Khalifa. And they grew and they grew and they grew. We took up space at Festival City. And one year we had, and I don't know what happened that year, because we'd booked a certain space with Festival City. And then the amount of interest we saw that we were getting on Facebook, because for some reason it started to go viral across the UAE. And we thought, okay, that's not going to be enough. So we asked Festival City for another space. They gave us a space. I went down there. I counted space. I went down there personally and counted potential for 700 to 800 car parking spaces. And I thought, that'll be fine. That's okay. We're sorted. On the day, we basically blocked out the entire area. There was a traffic jam all around Festival City. It was the biggest car meet that the Dubai had ever seen till that point. It was estimated that over 1,100 cars turned up that day.
And how much?
Sorry?
How much was the entry?
Well, this is it. It was free. That event was free because all our events up to that point had been free. Because the reason we had created the events was just a social gathering. It was just because we wanted to meet other car people, and we wanted to do that. So we did that, and then this thing just snowballed and went crazy. So we freaked out because this is the Middle East. If you mess up, if anybody has an accident or a kid gets hurt or something like that, we're in trouble. So we freaked out. Fortunately, the Dubai police are beautiful. I mean, just a big shout out to the Dubai police. A lot of them are car guys. They are a lot of them were actually our friends. So a couple of them were friends. And even the CID turned up and we thought, okay, that's it. We're going to get arrested. But no, they mucked in. They helped. They were fabulous. But, the dangers are there. So like you say, so the next one that we did after that is we did it properly. So we had 30 marshals, we had security, we had fire and ambulance on standby. So we actually had to pay for them to be there for the day. We had to pay for the marshals. We paid for that. We paid for lighting. We paid for bathroom facilities, for portable toilets and stuff like that. So we paid a lot. We then, of course, had to get sponsors in, right? So at the end of the day, what actually happened? It was moderately successful. We didn't lose any money. We just kind of broke even. But it turned into such a big faff. It just turned into work.
It was a headache, yeah.
It was work, And at the end of it, me and Imtishan, my business partner, and buddy, we sat down and we said, "Did we enjoy that?" And we said, "No, we didn't. We didn't enjoy that. We hated every minute of it, And the whole idea of the meets was that we would meet car people and have fun and just have a laugh. And it wasn't a laugh anymore. So we stopped. And we literally, that was it. That was the last one we ever did. And a victim of their own success, those meets. But, it was good to see that other people carried. Now I think there's an organization there called Flat 12, and they do fantastic meets in Mumsah Park and places like that. And it's nice to sort of have that legacy that we kind of helped kickstart that sort of phenomenon. But nonetheless, I completely understand is that if an event is successful, the costs go up exponentially. And then you do get into a position where you go, okay, well, we have to charge for this. So I can completely relate to that.
There was used to be this event called Walton House Supercars, run by he's a lord. I used to call him Lord Veyron because he had a
Lord Veyron.
Well, he had a Bugatti Veyron.
Fair enough.
And it's such a nice. You know what? No, I hated him because you know what? He was young, really handsome, and a lord. And he owned Wilton Manor, like literally like a gazillion acres. And he was a really nice guy. He's probably still a really nice guy.
But has he still got a Veyron?
I think he's got a bigger car collection now.
Yeah, it's probably got what's the one after the Veyron? It's got Chiron or whatever. It's got one of those.
I think he had a 288. I don't know.
Oh, nice.
But he organised a meet at Walton House, and we used to go there. A few of us used to go there, and it got bigger and bigger. And then they introduced a hill climb and a track day, but in the morning before the actual event, and it was all done for a charity as well. So he wasn't even making money; it's all done for charity. And then it reached a stage where it got bigger and bigger and bigger, and it was just too much headache, I think.
Yeah.
Too much. And I remember talking to one of the organisers after, and he said it costs us. They ran away because you get to a stage where it has to be better than last year.
Yeah.
And what do? You
Yeah.
know, you got to be bigger, and then you got more cars and more marshals, and you know, became victim of his own success.
Victim of his own success. Exactly.
But
Yeah.
it was a
Yeah.
lovely, meet.
Yeah.
Fantastic cars that were going there.
So similarly to events that aren't happening, because Ibrahim is asking, do either of you know if London Classic Car Show is on Olympia? No, I think
Uh,
that's been canned, isn't it? It's done, isn't it?
Yeah, is that the one that used to be at Excel first?
It was at Olympia, then it moved to a park just after the COVID days, and then I think it moved back and forth for a bit, and then it just disappeared. I think the organizer of that actually moved. I can't remember his name, but I think he moved to Qatar or something.
Well, the first time they did it at Excel, it was really good because they had an indoor track, and it was really
Yes, that's
good.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But what happened was every year it got smaller and smaller. So the first year
Yeah,
was the best one.
yeah,
Matter of fact, they were next to they had about 5 or 4 whatever
yeah,
halls, massive, and then it just got smaller and then
yeah,
smaller. Because then they're relying on people on businesses to advertise to come along and have stands.
yeah.
And these days people don't want to have stands. They don't want to pay for stands.
Yeah, and that's the trouble. It's like, there's so many events on, and then, there's only so many sponsors and exhibitors that you can reach out to. And then they've all got to look at their budgets. And, with everything the way that it is, with diminishing costs and everything, people got to go, well, is it worth it? Is it not worth it? There's another event that I'm involved with. I won't mention it right now. But again, I mean, the last year that they did it, they had 3 great years. And then the last year, it just went flat. And you could see why it went flat, because they got too ambitious too quickly. And I think that's the trouble with these things, is that you got to be careful. You got to pace yourself, pace the momentum. And I think at some point, if you decide that this is your ceiling, it's okay. Do you know what I mean? It's not like you say, the need to be bigger, better, flashier. Maybe there isn't the need. Maybe it's like, okay, I have a meet every year and I get 100 cars. That's enough. That's fine. I don't need 200 cars.
It's ego, and I'm
Yeah.
guilty as the rest because I do the drivers union ball, and each one's got to be bigger and bigger. I mean, this year I did it too big, and next year I'm going to come down a bit.
Yeah.
So where are you going to go on Saturday to Hampton Court Palace?
Yes, I was going to explain that, wasn't I? Because they are celebrating 50 years of the Lotus Esprit. And apparently there's going to be a lineup of, I think it was 10 really nice Esprits, or special, with provenance and all that. Esprits are going to be there at Hampton Court. So I'm going to go. So normally I go on the first day, but I think I'll go on the Saturday, because the Esprits will be on the Saturday. So I want to go see them.
Because you're a big Esprit fan.
I love the Esprit. You can see it. It's over my shoulder, just there. People that are watching this rather than listening to it, I'm actually pointing to a shelf behind me, and on top of the shelf are 2 cars. On the top of that shelf are 3 things that are mobility things, which I probably love more than anything else in the world. One is a White Lotus Esprit from the Bond movie.
Starship Enterprise.
And then the other well, as you spotted, the other thing is the Starship Enterprise from Star Trek. And then the third thing up there is the 1968 fastback Mustang. Yeah, live long and prosper, from Bullet. So you got the Bullet Mustang, the Lotus Esprit, and the Starship Enterprise is up there. So those things are up there. And you've got, who's that you've got?
I just like women. That's it.
You just like women. Okay, that's fine. So for those that are watching,
this is not my place. It's a very friend of mine's place.
So yeah, right. So for those that are watching this, he's got a poster of a lady behind him. For those that cannot see this, visualize a naked lady. See, this is why you've missed out. If you weren't watching this live on YouTube or Instagram, you missed out, because it's just a big picture of a naked lady right over his left shoulder. They'll never know.
So we're talking about Lotus Esprit. Have you driven Lotus Esprit?
Yeah, I have. I went in 1990, very early on in my career. I visited the Lotus factory, and that's when the Elan had come out. The modern Elan had come out. So I went down there. I was writing an article for, I think it was Arab News or Saudi Gazette. And I went down there and I got to drive the Elan and I got to drive the Esprit. So this was like I think the Peter Stevens era Esprit there at the Lotus test track, at the boomerang track that they got around the back of the factory. And it was absolutely fantastic. It was the memory of that drive is still, like, I've driven so many things, I've done so many things, but the memory of that is still burned into my head. And then years and years and years later, I did a review of a V8 Esprit in Dubai. belonging to a friend of mine over there. He sold it. He moved away. Then he came back. Then he bought a Jensen Interceptor and a TVR. But but he had a Lotus Esprit V8, and we took that for a drive. And if you watch the video, I can barely get the words out at the beginning of the video because I am a kid in a toy shop. You know, I've just lost it. I've lost the ability to speak.
Yeah, I love the Lotus Esprit. I've always loved it. You know, Spy Who Loved Me, and all the other Bond films following. And I like the Mark III. So I'd driven two. The first one I drove, I couldn't actually drive because my legs, my thighs were stuck to the steering wheel, and I couldn't move the steering wheel. So I don't know what happened there. Then I drove a V8 turbo, and I was a bit disappointed. It didn't feel. I don't know. I just remember it was about 20 years ago. So maybe I should drive one again. But I still would like.
No, I think the problem was that if it was the problem that they had with the V8s when they first came out was that the exhaust was too quiet on it. The noise was too quiet. So I think a lot of owners, the first thing they did was they put an aftermarket exhaust on it, and suddenly it sounded and felt a lot better. So I think that was like the standard thing to do on them, is just to change the exhaust. And they do. So I think the one in Dubai that I drove, I think that had an aftermarket exhaust on it. So that was great. I think the only problem was the air conditioning wasn't working. So on a hot day in Dubai, you want the air conditioning working. But other than that, it was absolutely terrific. You know, never meet your heroes, but I do love the Esprit. So I think, yeah, meet your hero in that case.
Because talking about noise and sound, something interesting came up, just changing the subject. That's why I was on the phone just now. Have you ever heard of musical roads?
Yes. Yeah? And they've just introduced it in Dubai, actually.
They've got it in Hungary, and I saw a video. Yeah. It's I don't know if you can hear it on here. There you can hear it. So it's a car. It's going on. There you go.
So to those people that are, I don't know if you can't hear that. Just.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, just about. So for those people who are listening rather than watching, Sai was just showing us a video. These are basically roads where they have painted these strips on the motorway on one side. So if you put one of your wheels on that as you're driving along, I guess if you do the right speed according to the tempo, which I guess would be the highlighted limited speed on the motorway, then you basically end up with music. That's what you get.
And you know what? If our mayor Khan is listening, he'll be thinking, that's a great way to make revenue. Let's down Sloane Street. Let's put it down the whole street. So and we'll rent it out. So you can have, driving down, you have a theme tune of some Chanel or whatever.
Well, first of all, yeah, of course he listens to the Brown Car Guy podcast. Yes, I'm sure he does. and secondly, we're like that, And secondly, there is nowhere in London that you could get a car up to a speed where you would actually be able to get some music out of the road. Literally, you take the damn Finchley Road. I mean, have you been to Finchley Road? It's got 3 lanes on each side, 20 miles per hour limit. What the heck is that about? These 20 miles per hour limits have done my head in, I swear to God.
Going back Finchley Road in 1992. I was driving down it in the 90s. I nearly ran over and killed Liam Gallagher from Oasis.
Oh, man. Well, how there would have been a split in the space-time continuum if you had done that.
Literally, I'm driving and I see him. He's about to cross, and I can see him, and I'm like thinking, oh, that's Liam Gallagher. Yeah. And literally, I missed him by about half a foot.
So you're the reason they put the speed limit down to 20 miles per hour.
That was the 90s. But yeah, you can't have 20 miles per hour. You're so busy looking at the, the speedometer. You don't know what you're doing, and it's just, as I said, I drove down on Wednesday. It's 20 miles per hour here, 30 there, but you lose track. You don't know what's happening.
It's absolutely crazy. There's some roads up near sort of the Southall, West London area, and literally look, if you there's Kingsbury High Road, just where I'm living, right? If you say 20 miles per hour there, which it is, you go fine, because there's shops and there's people are shopping and they're crossing and blah, 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 and that's fine. If it's a school, that's fine. If it's a hospital, it's fine. I'm driving along West London near Southall. There's a tree-lined road. It's a tree-lined road. There's no shops. There's no nothing. There shouldn't be anybody there. And the whole thing is set at 20 miles per hour. And at 20 miles per hour on a road like that, you literally feel like you get out and walk faster than the car you're driving. It's absurd.
Yeah, you know what? It's just going to get worse. It's going to pedestrianize the whole thing.
Well, they were talking about 10 miles per hour, remember, at some point. It's like, where does it end?
10 miles per hour.
10 miles. There was some talk. I hope it was a joke, but there was some talk. But the reality, they say, look, they say at 30 miles per hour, if you hit a pedestrian, you could kill them. If you're 20 miles per hour, etc., etc., 10 miles, etc. Look, the reality is, if you hit somebody at 20 miles per hour, you'll still kill them. The reality is, you shouldn't be hitting anyone because pedestrians should not be in the road. Have we all forgotten our green cost code? Come on.
I think if you want to stop any casualties at all, just ban cars from the whole of the UK.
Ban cars from the whole UK and nobody goes anywhere.
No, and we don't.
This is the other thing. This is the other thing that people don't realize is that when car is made public enemy number one, what they seem to forget is that for the last 130 years or so, the car has advanced human capacity in every possible way, whether it's commercial, social, leisure, emergencies, taking people to education, taking people for jobs, taking people in every possible way. The car has served us brilliantly over the last more than a century. So suddenly turn it into a public enemy number one. I'm sorry, but no.
Stop talking sense.
Stop talking sense. Exactly.
This is not the right place to be talking sense.
Yeah, damn right. What am I thinking? What is wrong with me, right? But that's bonkers. I mean, the reality is, we got to put these things into perspective. And I think the trouble is the complete and total lack of common sense in the world right now. When you look at these things, sometimes it's just common. You look at it, like I said, I'm not against 20 miles per hour limits where they make sense. But when you're on a road like that, if you're driving 2 a.m. down the road in Southall with nothing but trees on each side, you go, why is that 20 miles per hour? It doesn't make any sense. Just a little bit of common sense in so many things would make the world a better place.
I was at this event and I bumped into this chap and we started talking. I said, well, what do you do for a living? And he goes, he works for some high position in the mayor's department, whatever. Mm. So the first thing I said to him was, what about motoring? What do you think of motoring? He goes, well, motoring is actually at the bottom of their list.
Yeah.
It's like, was that every journey counts?
Yeah,
If you got a car.
Yeah, it doesn't. No.
It doesn't make any, they're not interested. And that's
but this is the thing, that every journey counts, right? But okay, so I don't really drive into central London anymore. And even driving across London, it's not a lot of fun. So was it last weekend or the weekend before? I don't know. But my wife wanted to go down to Green Street, which is near you actually. It's on Ilford side, right? Mm. And then said, well, we're not going to drive. Let's just take the tube. So we go down Jubilee Line up to West Ham, across to Upton Park, right? And so getting there was okay, wasn't too bad. On the way back, severe delays, and every single train got packed. It got packed to the point, at one point, we just had to get off the train and stand on the platform for 10 minutes because we were literally suffocated. Because there's no air conditioning, right? The trains are rammed. It's hot. You're piling. They're all delayed. All the trains were like, the time between the trains was over 10 minutes on each case. And they were so packed that at one point we had to get off because we were just feeling like, claustrophobic and hard. And it was literally hard to breathe. So we got off the train. And the reality is, when you put it that way and you go, well, every journey counts, yeah, but you're not making it any easier. You're not. I mean, why aren't there air conditioning trains? Why can't you make sure that on a busy weekend when families are out shopping, the trains are running on time? Why is there a delay?
Yeah, I very rarely go on a train. Saying that, I did use the Elizabeth line recently, where from London to Oxford Street, and it took 20 minutes. It's fantastic. Yeah. But if you're going to go shopping, and I don't want to sound like a snob like I do it, but if you've got expensive shopping, you don't want to be on a train going to East London.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just, if you want to be late, I don't know. I think the mayor, I can understand what they want to do with the cars. I understand for the pollution and safety, but I think they're literally are cutting off their nose to spite their face.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
the reality, I studied in London. I grew up in London, in central London. I studied in central London. I was reminiscing with an old buddy of mine that I met up recently. And at one point, we were all in college in central London, and all three of us had cars, and all three of us were driving into London. I guess that's a bit excessive, but back in the 90s, you could do that. And after college, we'd then drive around just for the heck of it, because you could do that. But now, none of us contemplate driving into London at all. That's how much has changed.
I used to love going to London. It's like the old supercars. So, for example, supercars, we've got, you see them down Sloane Street. Sloane Street, they've changed it now. It's all different. They've made the road narrower and it's not as friendly. So all the supercars moved over to Mayfair. I forgot the name of the road, but there's a road there. It's just not fun anymore. It's like, I mean, I'm supposed to be organising an event in October to celebrate my 20th anniversary of the first drive I ever did.
Which was in central London.
Which was central London in October 2005. So 20 years. And I thought I'd get like loads of Ferraris around and we'd go for a drive. But now I'm thinking, we're going to get stuck in traffic,
and then you'll get hit with fines for sound. You know, you'll get hate posters on the cars. I mean, honestly, it's like, what is going on?
And I'm thinking, there's not much point doing it. Maybe we might just meet up in a car. Maybe just meet up in one of the parks.
Yeah.
Have a coffee and that's it. But you can't really drive because even going through traffic lights.
Yeah.
If 3 cars go through, then it's a red light. Yeah. You've got to wait, and then it's all split up. So it doesn't work anymore. So the old days of the runs, London runs, they've just died now.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's a deliberate attempt because it's not just the ULEZ and the congestion charging and everything else, but it's actually the infrastructure of the roads themselves. Because if you look at the way that they put in cycle lanes and bollards and one-way systems, I mean, they've done everything possible to frustrate the flow of traffic. You know, so it's pollution in London. Apparently, this is a weird thing. Despite the fact that cars have got cleaner, despite the fact that we've got ULEZ and congestion charging, in 2023 stats, I think it was, the pollution in London actually got worse. And you go, well, how did it get worse? It's got worse because they're deliberately bottlenecking all the traffic. They're making it actually worse. They're taking longer to get. So years ago, I decided to take a car into London. I had an electric car, so I thought, okay, let me go into London. I used to do a run from one end of London to the other, because I used to work at a newspaper in West London, and I used to take it to central London to get bromides done. This is back in the day, and then take it over to the printers in East London. So I thought, let me retrace that route, right? The moment I entered London, and I did all the shortcuts and everything that I used to do, the moment I entered London, in 10 minutes I got lost. And the reason I got lost is because they've changed everything. So the shortcuts that you could take aren't there anymore. The roads that you could take have been blocked or turned into one-ways or low traffic neighborhoods, or they put bollards in them or whatever. So they've done everything possible to then drive you onto the main arteries and then put you all into the same congestion, same load of traffic, thereby making traffic worse, thereby making pollution worse. And it seems to me that this is just not good city planning.
And I was getting a ticket every month at one point.
A ticket every month?
Yeah, going through. I'm not supposed to go in. The car's not allowed at that time.
Right.
It is when you get the parking tickets.
Yeah.
Then you've got parking in central London now.
Yeah. Hideously expensive.
I was there the other day. It's like it cost me 40 quid to park for like 4 hours.
That's crazy.
You know, I think it's cheaper to get a parking ticket.
You remember in the old days with the old parking meters, you could put Coke can rings in them.
No.
Not that I did.
I never did that. I never did that. I know people used to glue stuff, but I never. No, I was actually quite well behaved.
Yeah.
It's not cheaper then. You know, central London.
It was cheaper then. Yeah, exactly.
Go on a Sunday or after 6:30, and it's free parking.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, but you still got to pay the ULEZ.
Yeah, ULEZ. Yeah.
Whatever. So it's nothing. It's not free, anyway. So
No.
we're just getting older, money. These young kids, they're just used to it now. They just think to them.
Well, this is the other thing, and I think this is the thing when it comes back to if we come back to things like the Polestar and what have you. I mean, I drove them around, and I'm like, okay, it's very expensive for what it is, etc., etc. But then when my kids get in the car, they're like, wow, look at the tech in here, look at the stereo, look at the, what I mean. So to them, they're like, wow, this is really cool. So it's a whole, so it is a generational thing. And I mean,
you failed as a parent.
Failed as a parent. I have failed as a parent anyway because my kids don't drive, which is terrible.
And you failed as a parent. So if you're driving a Polestar, does that make you a pole dancer?
Oh, shall I put that in the review?
You should do. I just.
But you remember that Polestar was actually the sporting up. So it was like the AMG is to Mercedes or M Sport is to BMW. Polestar was to Volvo. That's what Polestar used to be, because Polestar used to run their racing teams in the BTCC, etc., etc.
And so they turned it into electric. It's like the Mustang.
Yeah, and now they've turned it into electric brand. Yeah, and Mustang. There's the Mustang. There's Ford are doing these incredible things because they got the Mustang Mach-E, which is the electric Mustang. But that is almost forgivable, and it's actually not a bad car, but it's forgivable because you still get a V8 Mustang, so that's cool.
Well, hang on.
But then they did it with the Capri, and the Capri I think is universally despised because you can't take such a fabled and famous car name as the Capri and give everybody a bland electric SUV and expect people to accept it.
But a Mach-E is just, it's not a Mustang. A Mustang is a two-door coupe sports car.
Yeah.
That's a hideous piece of shit,
Yeah.
the Mach-E. Put it bluntly. What,
Yeah.
you know, what, I mean, I'd like to have been at the meeting, you know, at Ford HQ.
Yeah.
Mustang, yeah, all right, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, we'll make it a four-door. We'll make it big and square and boxy, and that's going to be the Mustang.
Yeah.
And no one turned around and said, sorry, look at the heritage. Sorry, what do you mean?
Yeah.
You know, John Wick is not going to drive that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
But then they did it again. They did it again with the Capri.
you know, I think, yeah, it's probably those people are probably designing behind it probably don't even have driving licenses.
But here's the thing. It's like, you know, again, if you talk about generational stuff and you go, well, if I was seeing, Capri's been out a while now. It's been out nearly a year, I think. If I was seeing loads of Capris on the roads, then I would say, okay, it's a generational thing because the younger generation don't really care about the heritage. They just go, oh, okay, it's a nice new electric car from Ford. But I haven't seen any. I have not seen a single Capri on the road, the new one. I've not seen a single one. You know, conversely, I have seen, you know, other electric cars. You know what I'm seeing a lot of is these new Chinese brands, Jayco and Omado. I don't know, Omado. I've actually reviewed them, and I can't remember the name. I reviewed them at the SMT Day a few years ago. But I'm seeing more and more of those. They must be doing some crazy deals because I'm seeing a lot of people buying those cars. But I haven't seen a single brand new Capri anywhere on the road.
Do you know, I see a lot of these electric cars, a lot of Chinese ones. I was going to say
Chinese. These are Chinese, yeah.
Chinese, and I see the back of them, and I don't know what they are.
Yeah.
They don't have any logos on them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I can't tell the difference between a lot of these cars now. They all sort of morph into one generic piece.
And also there's this trend now, which is really annoying for car people like us, and I guess for kids as well that like to do car spotting, is that manufacturers are not putting badges on cars anymore. You know, so even if you take the Polestar, right, you're expected to just know that that's a 3 or it's a 4 or it's a whatever. There's no number there's no badging on there that tells you what it is. Yes, there's a Polestar badge, but that's it. So how are you supposed to know which one it actually is? That's like, and with a lot of these modern cars, which, you know, like you say, are getting so harder and harder to discern the difference between them, you know, unless if they just take the badging and the name off it as well, it's like, how are you supposed to know what that is?
If I paid for the top of the range Polestar, I want to have that badging on there to tell everybody I had bought the top of the range Polestar.
Yeah.
You know, it's like my Cayenne. The previous owner took off the bit at the bottom, you know, so people don't know that it's the bottom of the range Cayenne.
Yeah, but that was debadging as in the old days, you know, when you had if you had a 318 and you take that badge off and just put an M badge somewhere on it instead, you know.
I don't want to take the Cayenne badge off. Otherwise, people think it's a Macan. I don't want people to think I'm a Macan because it's a bit small.
Exactly.
You know, we should drive the Macan's a bit small. I'm on the Cayenne. I'm a bit of a badge snob, as you could probably tell.
Yeah, but you know what? That's the Desi in you, though, isn't it? That is, you know, because at the end of the day, it's like, oh, you need to have a Mercedes, you know, because we need to show all the Khandan that we have a Mercedes. Therefore, we made it. You know, that's what it's all about, right? And you had an S class as well, didn't you? So
it's horrible. Worst car I've ever had. You know, the GCSEs just happened now, so you know, people, so my sister was saying, you know, our relation just texted me saying his son's got X number of first A's or 9s or 10s or is right, and that's what it is. It's a very big. Oh, look what I've got.
Yeah, exactly.
But human nature, we do want to show.
But then that's part of it. But this is something I think that manufacturers are missing a trick on, because as cars are just getting samey and looking the same and sounding the same. Well, they don't sound like anything anymore, and the badging is not even there. So at one point, like, how are you going to be able to discern between the hierarchy of who's got a really good car? If your local residential street has just got a line of anonymous looking Chinese electric EVs, then how do you stand out from the crowd?
You know, do you think there's a master plan for the manufacturers? That's what they want us to do, just be driving around in boxes,
basically
unbranded.
It's not the manufacturers. I don't think it's the manufacturers. I think it is governments. You know, because manufacturers manufacturers are in a lot of trouble right now, because manufacturers have always relied on brand and on the ideology of their brand and on the heritage of their brand. But right now they're having to strip away their brand. Look what Jaguar's doing. Is having to completely reinvent its brand, and to a point
And
where,
fire the head guy and fire the.
sorry,
I
they got rid of
design
the
design
CEO. Yeah, the CEO just left. Yeah,
and the design team. I think the design
yeah,
team is still working with them or not. I don't know,
I
but
don't
that
know.
was a big. I mean, they've ruined it. I mean,
Yeah.
Jaguar. How can you stop? If you stop making Jaguars, what's happening to the dealers? So my local dealer shut down.
Yeah, because they're not making any Jaguars for 1 year.
So what are they going to sell? What are Jaguar dealers going to
They're,
do?
they're going to come back in a year's time with a whole range of electric cars.
I'll tell you what. Let's have a conversation about this in a year's time. Let's see. But I don't think it's going to happen. Especially
Well, like somebody said to me the other day, or maybe it was you, I can't remember, but somebody said, which legacy brands do you think are going to die soonest? And I said, well, I think Jaguar's on the chopping block. That's for sure.
I remember Lotus. Remember Danny Barr
Yeah,
when he
I
came
do.
into
I
Lotus,
do. Yeah.
the Geneva Motor Show, and
Three new little concept cars in one strike.
3 or was it 4?
No, was it four? There were three.
They had loads of models, and I remember we interviewed him at the Geneva Motor Show, and he was like, "Really, it's going to be fun." And I was like, "Hang on," and I was thinking, because I'm behind the camera, I'm thinking,
Yeah.
"Hang on a second, you're going to design, create, build, test everything."
Yeah.
And I thought, and he never did it?
That never happened. It was all smoke and mirrors. It was all like show. They even came out with a really glossy magazine that literally I think went for 3 or 4 issues, and that was it. Because they were just putting a load of money into, basically it was a facade. It was just like showy. It was like, look at what we can do. There was nothing actually going on, which is ironic really, because Lotus is an engineering arm. Lotus is an engineering firm. That's what they do. But these cars were literally just rebodied Evoras and stuff like that. That's
But
what they really were.
they haven't learned their lesson. So they've turned around and said, what was it, this press release going out saying, or was it a rumor? I don't know, but it was all in the media that they're going to stop production, take it to America.
No, that was a rumor. Then they had to come out and deny it. Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what's happening with Lotus. I mean, they need to build an Esprit.
They need to build another Esprit. It's as simple as that. But also, Lotus was all about what was the famous saying? Reduce weight and then add lightness. That was Colin Chapman's mantra, wasn't it? And they've done the complete opposite. Increase weight and add batteries. That's what they've done now. So when you go into the Lotus showroom, there's one now just near Piccadilly, and you go in there and you see I don't even remember the names now. What are they? The Electra. And
They all begin with E. That's all I know.
They all begin with E, but there's Electra and not the Amira. Amira is a sports car.
Iva?
Not the Avaya, but the saloon one. Anyway, whatever. You go there and they are just not a Lotus in your head. You just look at them and you go, that is not a Lotus, because that is not what Lotus was about. Lotus was never about the kind of cars that they're trying to sell now. And as far as I'm aware, they're struggling to sell them. They're struggling to sell them, because I think that, and this is the trouble. You can't, it's the same trouble that I have as a YouTuber. If I create videos, I have to be mindful of what my audience is already expecting from me in order to consume those videos. And car companies have to remember the same thing. They have a ready customer base. They have to service that base in order to meet their expectations. Not just decide, oh, you know what? We're going to abandon years of building lightweight, fun, exciting, visceral sports cars and go and build lumpy EVs instead, because that's what our customers want. Well, they don't, because they can get that elsewhere. They can get that elsewhere. What they come to you for is sporty drives, And I think that's where they missed the boat.
But is the market still there for sporty cars?
I think there will always be a market there for sporty cars. It won't be huge, though. It won't be huge, but it'll always be there, as you know.
Have you come across a Longbow?
A what?
The Longbow. It's an electric sports car.
No.
I'll send you a link to it later. I think it's called Longbow. Very attractive looking car, 2-seater. They're going to try and bring it under 995 kilograms with electric batteries.
Yeah.
Motor.
Yeah, there's a company here. Maybe it's the same car we're thinking about. I don't know, but there's a company here that is coming up with a new type of battery that allows them to do something very similar. Quick charging, low weight. It goes back to the conversation we were having before, where a lot of companies at the moment are converting classic cars to electric. And whilst that's good, and it's a good idea, because especially if it's a car that's being restored and the engine was dead anyway, so that makes perfect sense. You're trying to future-proof the car, which is great. But part of me feels that it might be too early, because battery tech is still evolving. So you convert a classic car to electric now, you're just going to have to convert it again in 5-10 years, because when we get solid state batteries or other batteries,
we need a battery like this that'll charge a car.
yeah. Well, that's, to be honest, what the one in your phone is the same thing, because that's still a lithium-ion battery. But we're looking at things like solid-state batteries, and there's other formula of batteries that are coming through the pipeline, which could change things quite dramatically. You know, and that both in terms of the range that you'll get out of them and the charging speeds that you get out of them. And they're also looking at stuff like for, you know, bikes and stuff like that, where you just swap the batteries. So you just take them out and put a new one in, you know, sort of thing, you know. So you pull up at a petrol station type venue and you just go, right, swap the battery cartridge out, and off you go again, you know. So we're still in early days, really.
I like the smell of petrol.
Yeah. Well, maybe that will be available as a perfume, won't it? That will be cologne in the future. That's the way to do it. It's a really tricky one. It's hard to sort of get a handle on where things are going right now, because the industry, you know, I've said this to somebody the other day. It's like, I've been following the car industry for 35 years. And whenever you meet directors and CEOs and MDs and people like that, they're always sitting there quite smug-faced and quite self-assured, because in their head, they're already thinking 10 years ahead, because that's the way product plans work. And the reality is that when you see them now, when you speak to them now, you see this look in their eyes where they're like, they haven't got a clue. Nobody has a clue of what's coming next or where we're going. And I think this will be interesting. And this will probably be, you know, food for discussion for future podcasts, I'm sure. Where is the industry going? What's happening to it? Does anybody really know?
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope everybody has enjoyed our second, I think I've done it. This is probably the third BrownCarGuy Therapy Session, but the second one with Sai. So thank you once again for joining me today, Sai. And thank you all the people that joined us and watched us. Leave your comments, suggestions, whatever. I will, of course, this was a live stream, but I will, of course, download this and re-upload it in better quality onto the main channel as well as a permanent podcast. And hopefully, we'll try and do this again next week.
Lovely. Thanks a
All
lot.
right.
See you, everyone.
Take care, everyone. See you all. Bye. All right, stop.